the way society looks at masculinity and the way I look at it may be two different things. You know, society says masculinity or men shouldn't cry, shouldn't feel their feelings. I, on the other hand, think the exact opposite of that. You know, I think it's more masculine to cry, show your emotions, be in touch with your emotions, be in touch with your feminine side, as some guys say, you know, this, that, and the other. I don't like being like boxed in like that, kind of like. So, in all essence, it's just being normal, like just being who you are. You know, if that's feeling feelings, you know, to have the freedom to do that. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I would say masculinity is.
It's like the way I express myself without having to use words. So that could be just through my actions, the way that I dress myself, or just through, honestly, my facial expressions, bubbly personality, sort of like I would say I sort of have a mystique about myself that would embrace my femininity, but also like a sweet side kind of thing. And then a little feisty side, but that's besides the point. So yeah.
Coming from having been raised one gender and coming into another, into my true gender, and that which I identify as, which is male, the navigation has been difficult in the area of there are certain questions you won't answer by, like, quote, men, you know, like that have grown up from boys to men or whatever. Like, is this feeling normal? Is that emotion normal? When you see a girl, like, da-da-da, you know, because a lot of times in my youth, like if I saw a girl that I was attracted to, that was a natural thing happening for me. But because I was being raised in another gender, it was taboo. It wasn't supposed to be, you know, so I was, in my mind, I had a lot of stress and ultimately heartache, even, you know, like with substance abuse and things, because I was trying to suppress something that was naturally happening in me.
Sometimes they stick up for each other, sometimes they don't. I think it mainly depends on probably that individual and how they were raised. I think women can do a little bit more better as far as coming together and forming some sort of unity. Yeah, I think it needs to be better. Even our race as a whole needs to be better, the Black community.
Men nowadays, they treat too many women like options versus a priority. Like, you never know what you're gonna get with men now. You never know how long it's gonna last. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know if you're getting their true selves or if they're just putting on a show, like putting up a front or whatever. Like, but not all men are like that though. So I feel bad sitting here. I don't want to drag men, because some men are cool. Some men are genuine and have genuine intentions and treat women as such, but then you have some that just really are out here treating women like options. And that's not the best thing. That's terrible. Like, no woman wants to feel like they're just an option. I mean, we don't necessarily be out here treating these men like that, which we very well could, you know, but that's not what we're out here doing.
To me, what I think of a real man is just somebody who embodies the things that they talk about or show in different ways that they do care, as well as knowing how to respect another person, and more importantly, respect another person's opinion, because that's really hard. I feel like in manhood, it's always like, I'm gonna get my point across kind of thing, and you're seen as less masculine if you let another man or another person dictate your opinion kind of thing. So a man who respects another person's opinion is really important to me. So I feel like those are the two things that are what would embody a real man, I guess.
My most negative toxic thing would be to be able to show love to your girls and boys as far as children are concerned. Again, the dad being a disciplinarian, but I want to have a relationship where I hug my boys as well as my girls. I want them to be affirmed by me. You understand? I can go to my dad and get a hug. I don't need you to hug me, type thing. You know what I mean? So, and it's not looked at as some kind of taboo issue or something that you're making your son soft or whatever. No, I want my son to know what a hug feels like from his father, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or my daughter in turn, so that when the gang member comes out and gives you that bro hug, that ain't the first hug you've ever had. So now you feel like the gang loves you more than I love you. No, I hug you all, I can't, once a child gets to where they're gonna make their own decisions, hopefully my hugs will have influenced and be trump over anybody else's hug. You know what I mean? My hug is genuine, son. You can come to me, we can cry together, we can hug, we can laugh, whatever. And then, so when you do go out into, larger society, college and whatnot, and you're starting to become the man or the woman that you're gonna be, or if it's a gender at all, then you will have been affirmed enough by me to be able to make choices about your life and your future that won't be dictated on because you didn't get it from home or you didn't get it from me.
I feel like that is definitely tarnished the way women are able to truly present their true selves. Because I can definitely experience, I was raised by older women. All my parents are older. So I definitely was raised in that old school mentality, like, hey, there's men in the house, you need to put on some pants. Like, you can't just be laying around and there's men here. Watch what you say. It's always teaching the female or teaching the woman that she has to act in a certain way versus teaching these men they need to be able to control themselves. Like, realize this is a younger person. This is a young girl. Like, her reaction is going to be based off of how you react and how you present yourself. Like, don't be on no creepy stuff. Because I've had that situation where even when you could just be living. Like, for me, I've always been very mature for my age and very filled out and curvaceous at certain ages. And I could be having the most innocent relationship with older family members and friends of family members that are older. Strictly just friendly, looking at them as like a brother figure or like uncle, an older person, like a confidant type thing. And it's don't turn 18. As soon as you hit a certain age, they are on you. You're no longer this young girl they watched grow up, the same young girl that was running around playing with dolls, had hair bows in your hair, none of that. You are now a woman. You're out here in the same playing field as these other women. And I just feel like in order to prevent all these older men acting the way they do, they need to start teaching these younger men how they need to act around women, because we shouldn't have to restrain ourselves to change anything about ourselves to help a man control themselves.
The avoidance is like vocal tone. My voice, although it has deepened, at the age I started doing stuff, a lot of stuff isn't going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm having to come to the realization that my voice is deep, and no matter the testosterone or whatever, the hormone treatments, unless I surgically get vocal cord treatment or whatever, which I don't want to do because I sing, probably is where it is. So I find myself, depending again on the company I'm around, I try to drop my voice down, whatever, right? And it's crazy because I don't know the sound of my own voice still. Because it all depends on who I'm around. You know, it's like this damn, just this stage, and I'm always on stage. I'm always acting. I go to my mom's house and I try to be a little bit more upbeat, but even though my mom is accepting and she's coming around, she's starting to say he, and if she can't do that, she'll even say they or them, you know, which I'm, go mom, you know, kudos. Or she'll say T, you know, depending on who she's around. Now, if it's just immediate family, she'll go back to the name, the birth name, and she, you know, she'll just fall back into, I guess, her comfortable place. But those are some of the struggles I have, because I feel like the femininity, it's okay for my voice to be a little higher pitched around females, and then when I get around the dudes, especially if it's not somebody I don't know and I need to like initially let you know I'm a boy, you know? You know what I mean? So it'll come out like that, and then once I get to know you more, then my voice will get back kind of to here. But in doing that, my vocal teacher tells me, no matter the pitch of your voice, she says I still sound masculine, no matter how high it is up here or this lower register. And so she encourages me to find that middle ground and stay there, because I'm doing stuff to my vocal cords that I probably don't need to be doing.
I would say I've been encouraged to engage in my soft side a lot. Even though I am a sensitive person, I'm a caring person. That's something that's really pushed. They're like, oh, you keep being sweet. Oh, you keep being caring. You keep being thoughtful. That's such a good quality to have. But then my mouth is something that have said to be avoided, because I feel like even though I am sweet, I do speak my mind, and it's either gonna come out in my mouth or my facial expressions. Either way, it's gonna show. But those are the ones that I've been told to avoid, because most people can get it misconstrued, or I'm supposed to think of other people's, be aware of other people's feelings and change who I am because they don't agree with what I do as a reaction to the stuff that they do. There we go.
Navigating independence has been a journey, to say the least. It's had its ups and it's had its downs. I feel like it was a little bit easier a transition for me, just because I've been independent for quite some time. Like, you know, I've been independent since I was like 17. Like, as soon as I was able to get a job and work, I did that. Been paying my own bills, been setting up stuff myself. I set up my own doctor's appointments when I was in like middle school. That was me. I would set up my own doctor's appointments. Like, I've always been a little, plus growing up with older parents, you gotta be. Cause these older parents, they just be ready to sit down somewhere and watch their little stories. They don't be ready to be popping with the kids. So you kind of got to learn some independence about yourself, because all your siblings grown, they got kids. So now you having to help your parents watch their grandbabies. So it's like, you gotta, you know, but I will say that, like, it's taught me a lot about choices and helped me understand what it is I really care about and really passionate about.
I feel like because of the environment around them. And what I mean by that is, if you are a female and you're not in an environment where it's not acceptable to show your individuality through femininity, and people think, you know, oh, you have to be soft. You have to be almost like a helpless kind of damsel in distress kind of thing. I feel like that's what makes makes it difficult for females to express their femininity. And also, I would say, just really not having that representation of how a woman can really show herself through femininity.